Good morning, all of you amazing dinar investors. Welcome to the Iraq Dinar investment roller coaster. So, anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well, having fun, staying healthy, all that fun business. Just give me a second here. I'm trying to get this all set up to get started here. All right. Let's get into today's news, some things I want you to think about, okay? Let's just get into the basics of kind of where everything's at, and then we'll tear into the news so you can see as we get into the news, move through the news, you can kind of see the news moving in that direction, kind of what we're looking for or what's really happening. So right now, if we were to look at, you know what, let me give you guys more of a kind of a different view here. Right now, they have if you look on the left half of the screen, they have the session of Parliament scheduled for tomorrow. Now that on the left half, you're literally looking at Parliament's website right there. Again, it's Parliament's website. Now to translate that into English, which I've done on right there on that tab, you can clearly see the second step is electing the President of the Republic, okay? So again, in tomorrow's session, they've got it scheduled to do the President of the Republic. Now, I want to dive in just a little deeper on that. Remember, they're past their constitutional period right now, the 30-day mark of voting on and completing the step of the President, which is step 2 out of 4 within their government formation, okay? So again, their constitutional period reached its deadline as of Wednesday, the 28th. They're now past that. Reason why I bring that up. There was some more articles this morning, really maybe one, and I'm very careful to not trust just one article. That's kind of one of my personal rules. But again, about one article has said that they might not have a session of Parliament this morning. Okay, again, one, so I'm careful, versus most of the articles coming out today, almost all of them say they're going to have and hold the session of Parliament tomorrow to tackle the President. Okay, so I just wanted to bring that up so you can see right here, when we look at this website, again, this is their Parliament's website, they're clearly stating step 2, election of the President of the Republic. Okay, just wanted you guys to see that. All right, now, so that you guys see that, and you guys posting questions in the comment section, we will get into I'll review and help you answer your comments. Now, if you're rude, you just get permanently removed. So just think about that. Anyway, so you guys posting comments, questions, I will go through I'll help you with your questions at the very end. Let's get through the material first. I think that's what's important to get everybody up to speed on what's happening. So as you guys see, one of the things I shared with you guys, and again, my opinion, of course, immediately when the elections and the formation of the government started, I told you Maliki's not going to get this. It will be Soudani. Now, some of you would say to me, you'd say, hey, well, right now, Maliki's top pick. That's true. But his foot isn't in the door. It's in limbo. They stated he's the top pick. But then as you see right now, Trump's got some big cojones, and Trump came forward saying, hey, Iraq, you put Maliki in, we're done helping you 100%. Okay, so Trump put a roadblock right in front of him. So now they're back to having meetings, and it's in limbo. Okay, here's what I think is going to happen with that. I have a gut feeling that, remember, after the president is announced, to do the prime minister, they have constitutional period of 15 days to announce what is the prime minister. So again, after the president's announced, that puts them in a 15-day constitutional period to announce a prime minister. So I have a feeling that what will be the prime minister will probably be formally announced closer to somewhere around the middle of February. Okay, I think they have to have their period of 50 more meetings, because again, Trump called them out. So they're going to have 50 more meetings before they get a formal announcement of what will be their prime minister. And in my opinion, it won't be Maliki. Okay, just wanted to put that out. Okay, so that's where I'm at. Let's get into the news now that you guys have all that. Okay, so again, I'm only expecting a president tomorrow, nothing more. I think the PM position will go more, probably closer to around mid-February, within the constitutional period of around 15 days. Here is what is today's news. All right, gold and silver price fell after the selection of a new Federal Reserve chairman. Again, not a big deal towards our studies of the Iraq dinar. Now, on this one, the Iraqi parliament set Sunday as the date for electing the president, and yes, I have a feeling, again, right now they're asked since Wednesday, they're past the constitutional period of their 30 days to do step 2 of the president. So I have a strong feeling, in my opinion, that they will have a completed presidential position as of tomorrow. Al-Quabani, it says Trump is rude and the coordination framework faces 2 options. We can see what the 2 options are. I kind of summarized this for you guys. Let's go to the summary. It says harsh criticism. We don't care about what his little Middle Eastern opinion is. Let's get to the 2. Here we go. Overall summary. Kubanchi condemned Trump's rejection of Maliki. And at the end of the day, Maliki is nothing more than he will tank the country of Iraq if they put him in there. Foreign investment and trade will just fall through the cracks. He said Iraq's Shiite leadership faces only 2 paths: given pressure, lose sovereignty. In other words, bring a different choice selection for PM Ford, or resolve the issue through diplomacy and meetings. Yeah, they're going to have a few meetings. So again, more likely around the 30-day constitutional period, somewhere around mid-February, we'll have an announced prime minister, is just my best guess. Okay. All right. Let's get a little bit more down. Let's see what this one says. The title of this article says the president and Maliki's fate are on the agenda on the eve of the parliamentary session. And on this one, it says the coordination framework, which includes the Shiite political forces, intends to hold an important meeting this evening on Saturday to discuss the files of the presidency and the prime ministership. Again, in my opinion, I would forget about the PM announcement tonight, tomorrow. I don't anticipate. I think we're just going to have a president tomorrow. They're going to need more time on the prime minister since Trump threw his cojones in front of him. All right. Next article here. It says the coordination framework relies on Trump changing his stance on Maliki's veto. In my opinion, it says won't happen. Trump has some big cojones. Okay. So again, Trump's not going to concede to them. He'll hold his firm position. And at the end of the day, guys, I just want you to think about this from a common sense angle. All right? Common sense angle. Back in I think it was around 2003 or close to that, when the Bush Jr. presidential administration kind of put Nouri al-Maliki in there and got him in there for 2 terms. Okay? If you go back and look at the overall actions or just really the events that took place and transpired from Maliki's 2 terms, he was corrupt as hell, very corrupt, and very inhumane to the citizens, and overall very disrespectful towards the Kurds. Okay, so now when you think about that, when you think about how corrupt he was, okay, you can clearly see that that he just was really bad for the country. So if they were to even consider putting Maliki in there, well, the next prime minister is going to be the one that returns the country of Iraq back onto the world stage. He will be highly frowned upon. It'll be a huge red flag to foreign investment. Think about that, okay? So when Soudani has been the person that has restored stability within the country and turned it around overall. So Maliki would be a very bad choice. Okay, just again, think about that. The Soudani official affirms Iraq's commitment to continuing its efforts to support stability, to prevent the expansion of conflicts. Again, that Soudani equals stability. That's why I'm saying when you remove your emotions from this and study it just from plain old common sense without your emotions guiding you, Soudani makes the most sense for this to happen as the PM. The German central bank warns of the dollar's global situation. Again, the dollar is recently hitting some lows because gold and silver are strengthening. That's kind of what this is talking about. Let's look at this article. Iraq was among the world's largest gold buyers last year. Absolutely. Because they're positioning themselves based on reserves and asset backing. Because again, Basel III is where they can use foreign currencies and precious metals to asset back themselves through the reserves to strengthen the value of their currency, increase its purchase power in case they do increase the value of their own currency, okay? That's the position Iraq is setting themselves up for. All right, let's look at this article right here. The election of the President of the Republic, will he appoint a Prime Minister tomorrow? And who will he choose? In my opinion, no. Again, they're already showing you that they're in limbo because Trump threw his cojones in front of him and called him out on Maliki, okay? Let's go. We don't need to cover all these. And all right, this one this came from Iraq News, but it has nothing to do with Iraq News. We have a lot of sarcasm and we have fun in this forum. We're not like Maduro 26 where you have to, or Napoleon 26 where you have to, when you step into the forum, you have to say "in my opinion" before you speak. We don't have forum Nazis dictating you, telling you what to do. Okay, just so you guys know. The coordination framework will decide on Saturday between keeping. Let's look at this one real quick. The coordination framework will meet on Saturday to decide the prime ministership from among three options. Okay, here's what they are. The coordination framework will decide on Saturday between keeping step one, or number one, keeping Maliki, 2, choosing another candidate, or restarting nominations. Either way, that's why I tried to suggest to you guys more time is needed in this. Okay, Trump threw his cojones in their face, and you know now it's a who's got the biggest ding dong contest in this, and obviously it's going to be Trump, but this is going to bring Iraq back to the drawing board to where they've got to again regroup, rethink, have more meetings, and you know this. In other words, this is nothing more than a political soap opera. It's just what it is. The soap opera is going to step into its next series. The next series is going to be Maliki's out, Soudani's in. That's just the way it is. So we've got to give this time to play out. And again, after the president's done, they will only have a constitutional period of 15 days to announce the prime minister. Look more for the prime minister to be announced somewhere probably around mid-February, okay? Now, let's talk about that for a second. I want you to think about something because some of you might be saying, oh crap, this is going to go into March potentially due to them having an additional 30 days to announce for the prime minister time to form his cabinet. Hold on a second. Let's talk about that, okay? If that is your concern. Remember, Soudani already has a done, completed, formed cabinet. So if Soudani was announced and he did not make any changes within his cabinet, he could completely have the government 100% done and formed at the point of announcing Soudani, only Soudani, as the prime minister. possibly positioning themselves to potentially revalue, maybe possibly during the second half of February. Something to think about in your studies, okay? Let's move forward. We don't care about all this. I'm not going to cover everything. We're going to kind of just bounce around and focus more on the important articles, so this does not become a never-ending video. Plus, this way I can get more into your guys' comments, questions in the chat section of YouTube. Okay, it says the Ministry of Construction, Housing, Municipalities confirmed on today, Saturday, the opening of new applications for housing loans is contingent upon completing the remaining applications from 25. Now, why are there remaining applications from 25? Now, you guys don't search the news. I do. And I do very thoroughly. I spend about 2 hours a day searching, translating the news. We study significantly deeper, more analytical than any other forum within this investment. That's why many other people take my news, because of the level of research we do. I could name two gurus that steal my work religiously. Melanie Hines is one. Again, I don't want to use the word steal, but she shares it, okay? And she wouldn't share it if she didn't like the level of research I do, okay? The one that does steal it and doesn't give credit where it's due, and again, I apologize for being rude or disrespectful to Melanie Hines. She at least is respectful and takes the time to give credit where it's due. And Melanie, thank you for that. I appreciate you for that. Versus Maduro 26 that steals my work and claims that his boy Eddie, that jumps into my forum, that his boy Eddie is texting it to him, again, because his boy Eddie stole it from my forum and gave it to him. So that's Maduro, Napoleon thief, Pendejo 26. Now, ministry spokesman, blah, let's get into the key points on this. There were, okay, housing loans. The Ministry of Construction, Housing, Municipalities confirmed that the new housing loan applications will not open until 2025. I saw news on this that blatantly said the home loans would not even become available until basically like the new budget period of 26 is what it kind of linked the home loans towards. Why the budget period of 26? For one, money's needed for that. Money has to be budgeted for that, allocated for that through the budget, okay? It has to be a budget-related item as to where the funds are allocated from. Again, they're becoming transparent. All money has to be tracked. It's very simple because of severe corruption historically through the whole country. But that also means it's linked to the rate change. It's an international requirement step. Along with, they can't be under U.S. sanctions when they go to do this. Okay? All right. All right. So anyway, that's that. Let's get into the next one. Maduro municipality. Hold on. Okay, that's not real critical. Hold on. All right, let's look at this one. One of the things I've been telling you is that if you notice, nothing in Iraq is moving forward now until the government's formed and the rate has changed. But the rate has to change before things will move forward. Let's look at this. Now, this literally was part of the article. It says, I threw comments, this is not the title, Iraq's going international after government formation. Nothing is moving forward prior. Here's the title. The title says, Taif Sami directed the compilation of Baghdad real estate data and its linking to the GPS. That means their brand new digital electronic governance systems bringing forward. They're bringing new digital systems forward because the entire country is going to be, all the provinces are going to work from the angle of they're going to be provinces to what is the federal government, like in the United States having states as part of the federal government. That's the way they're going to transition, okay? But what they're saying into them linking to the GPS system, this is going to happen within 2 months. Now, I want you to think about, now this doesn't mean the rates, see on my forum, and again, if you're not part of my forum, I welcome you in. But I want you to think about something. It says within 2 months. Now, some people on my forum thought, okay, well, maybe that means the rate's not going to change until March. Put the brakes on a second. Not necessarily. Notice how it says within 2 months. Okay? Think about this for a second. Let's go back. Let's talk about Iraq's historical actions. Every year, now the last time that Iraq has done a standard 1-year annual budget would have been the year of 21. Every time they've done a 1-year budget, when do they always have them approved? And when does it typically get implemented? They typically always have budgets approved as of by the end of March, ready to be implemented as of April 1st. Think about that. Again, I look more at their actions than I do what they tell me in print. They tell us in print that their annual budget periods go from January through December. But their actions show us that they always have, again, they always approve budgets when it's an annual 1-year budget, they always have them approved by the end of March, getting implemented April 1st. Now that's also Kuwait's fiscal budget period, okay? Again, just sharing facts with you from an analysis angle. Now, so again, February versus March, going international, okay? After the rate changes, Iraq still has to approve, their parliament has to approve the 26 budget. That could take anywhere at least a minimum of a month because the 26 budget needs 3 full readings. They have 150 plus laws to approve, plus some of the items on the reforms level, like the tax reforms, the standard reforms, all that, some of those have to be amended and approved again by Parliament to get all the reforms implemented. Okay? So what I'm trying to tell with you on a factual level is they have quite a few steps. They have at least, at a minimum, 30 days worth of steps and tasks to do, again, after the rate changes. So if they want to be ready to go international within 2 months, being, in this case, like when they typically implement their 1-year budgets, which is April 1st, they would need to most likely change the rate in February, giving them 30 days of March to improve everything I shared with you to have it ready April 1st. Something to think about in your studies, okay? Let's move forward. Again, we're not going to cover everything politically right now. I don't see the PM happening tomorrow, in my opinion. I don't even see a PM getting announced, in my opinion. It's only going to be the PM. Or I'm sorry, only the president tomorrow, not the PM. That might just be it. That's about it on our news studies, guys. There's just one more article I was going to show you here. It said right here. See, they're kind of talking in circles right now about the prime minister position or who their selection and nominee is. Their top pick. Again, the title says the decisive decision is approaching. The Kurds are without an agreement, and the framework is hinting at freedom of choice, meaning they're going to do their own thing separate from what Trump said. If that was true, they would have simply decided on Maliki and moved forward. They didn't. They're right now about the nominee for the PM. They're talking in circles right now about this. That means more time is needed to reach a final decision agreement on the PM. Okay, just simply think about that. Let me just blast through this real quick just to make sure that there isn't anything else news related today I want to cover with you. Now, here's part of the level of research I do. In regards to tomorrow, this came straight from, and I actually showed it to you guys at the beginning of the video. Anyway, this came straight from the Iraq's Parliament website. And again, they have the second step or task on the agenda is the election of the president of the republic. Again, that came straight from Iraq's Parliament website. Okay. All right, that's it in the news. Let's have a little fun. Let's jump into your guys' comments real quick. There it is. All right, there's a back end view of what do you call it? Of the live content creators view from the forum. Let me see if I can zoom in a little on this. I can't. Wait, hold on. I can't. Anyway, that's it. You guys can hopefully, whoops, let me get rid of that. You guys can hopefully see the questions on your side anyway. All right. Empty Belly, hi to you as well. Tynesha James, good morning to you. I haven't talked to you in a while, but you're awesome. And it says, Jeff in chat, let's get it. I like your attitude. Good morning, all. Good morning to all of you. Don Juan is snowed in. Sorry to hear that. How come Maliki isn't saying anything about the billions he stole? Timothy Gimmons. So to answer your question, I think Maliki is nothing more than a distraction. There's things to this that you guys don't understand, that we study at a much deeper level. There's a reason why Maliki's a distraction right now, okay? That's why notice how Maliki's not really moving forward and getting his foot in the door. He's just spoken of, but also he's being used as a tool to waste time and as a distraction. They talk out of both sides of their mouth. Jeff, are we going to get a president tomorrow? Like I've said in the video, in my opinion, yes. Because again, they're past their constitutional period. Good morning. Good morning. Sudani is $5 plus. Okay. And Maliki is 13.10. I agree with you. I wouldn't say 5 plus. I would put Sudani in the 3 plus camp, not 5. And you're right, Maliki is a 13.10 kind of guy. I don't even see the rate changing if they brought Maliki forward, because I think Trump would shut him down, probably put sanctions on him. Good afternoon from Florida. Denise, good afternoon to you as well. It's actually still morning time for me though, because I'm kind of mountain time. Good afternoon. Oh yeah, we covered that. Okay. I always wonder about an Iraqi named Eddie. And I kind of do too. It's, I mean, and at the end of the day, the party paying son that you're talking about is a narcissist. Let's talk about that for a second. Again, this individual you're talking about is a narcissist. I have family members that are narcissists, and the mannerisms that this person or individual you're talking about displays the same traits as my narcissist family members. Let's talk about that. What are some of the traits? They hide from you. They're not strong-willed enough to open up and talk to you in public. So like the individual or content creator you're referencing he hides from the public. If you go to his forum, you can't even hardly speak with freedom. You have to say, in my opinion, before you can publicly speak. And if you say anything questionable, his internal Nazis will just delete you and remove you. Me, I don't have admin Nazis in my forum. I have a wide open chat room. You can say whatever the heck you want as long as you're not disrespecting anyone. You can even bring other content creators working there and have fun. It's that simple. You get nothing but respect in there. Nobody polices you. We don't have Maduro 26 in there. And again, my phone number is, as you guys see right now, my phone number is right on the screen. My phone number's out to the world. I don't hide from the public eye. I don't have to. I don't get attacked. Okay? I'm very transparent with all of you, but the individual pain son that you're referencing has to hide. Also has to hear themselves talk for 3 hours because they're a narcissist. It's all about extreme pride. Think about that. Ted Bradley, good morning to you, buddy. I don't think Sudani... I would disagree. It's not that... You got to see, this is where you're bringing your emotions into this. It's not about... Sudani kind of has to be the guy. And the reason why, if you, again, using common sense, the reason why Sudani has to be the guy, he's been the one that's turned the country around, achieving its core critical level of stability. Okay, so it kind of has to be Maliki. I'm sorry, Sudani, not Maliki. Sorry, guys. My ADHD, my mind goes 1,000 miles an hour. So here's a party mentioning Ramadan starting on the 17th. Not a problem. Ramadan is nothing more. Ramadan is simply business as usual. If you go back and study Ramadan, Ramadan has always been business as usual. The only change or variation, again, the government operates its business as usual. Ramadan doesn't mean anything. The only thing that ever changes during Ramadan is they work just a few less hours because they spend more time fasting. Again, Ramadan, don't let that be any type of concern to you guys. It's just, again, they fast. That because they fast more, it's a religious period to them. They work a few less hours, allowing them more time to fast. But from the angle of the government, it's work, it's operations, it's business as usual. From Indonesia. Hi Jeff, and hi to you as well, Ranny Spitty. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. No, Painson, I don't think they have postponed the presidential session. Again, only maybe like one article has talked about a potential delay, but I want you to think about something. Back when they delayed it Tuesday, they put out quite a few articles on both Monday and Tuesday talking about it being delayed. So far, as of today, I've only seen one article. I'm very careful to not trust or put a lot of stock in just one article. The bulk or majority of today's articles said it's happening tomorrow, and I showed you it's also posted on their Parliament's website as well for them having a session tomorrow. I also think the revaluation has to do with with Iran being bombed. What do you think, brother? Iran's, don't think about it, and Joshua 1993. Okay, sorry if I mispronounced your name. You have a valid point, and I'll tell you why. I wouldn't look at it just from the angle of Iran being bombed. It could be like more of like what we did with Maduro, just removing their top official. Kim Clement had prophesied that regarding the country of Iran, there would be a grave surrender. That grave surrender in Iran would open up the doors to allow Iraq to have financial breakthrough. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, again, it means something happening in Iran, whether it's based on the angle of bombing or simply doing like what we did with Maduro in Venezuela and just removing maybe their top political figures. It doesn't have to be just a bombing. That there could be, we'll say, some kind of military action from the United States towards the country of Iran, whether it's military or, whether it's bombing or removing their top officials. Okay, and that could be the step that, again, like Kim Clement prophesied, opening the doorway for financial breakthrough in the country of Iraq. President vote Tuesday now, unless they're pulling. They had that. Well, okay. Paul Williams is saying that the presidential vote is being rescheduled and positioned for Tuesday. I haven't seen that anywhere. And you know what, Paul? You're welcome to email me that if you have the link or that article. I will post that, and I'll do a whole nother brand new video, buddy, and I'll even give you credit for it. But if you've got that article, because I spent a lot of time in this morning's news, I didn't see anything talking about they were supposed to do the president last Tuesday. I just don't know if you accidentally saw one of the older articles referencing last Tuesday, not Tuesday of next week. Again, but I haven't seen any articles talking about them rescheduling a presidential vote to Tuesday of next week. Okay. It's amazing to me how in one breath he refers to God hating Democrats or liberals in the next. And I don't know, Painson, I don't know who you're talking about there. Sorry about that. And yes, hey guys, Steve, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Steve brought up a very valid point, and you know what, guys? I'm gonna go to a split screen here. Hold on, I want to show you guys something. Let me open up a new tab. I'm gonna say, when was Ramadan in 1991? And I know exactly what Steve's talking about because I've actually researched this myself. So, for those of you that think the rate cannot change during Ramadan, Kuwait, and again, Steve in the chat, he's the second one up from the bottom, gets all the credit for this, okay? The country of Kuwait did perform their currency and reinstatement during the religious celebratory period of Ramadan in 1991. Again, Kuwait did their currency revaluation on March 24th during their Ramadan period, which started on March 17th of 91. Steve, thank you for that, buddy. Appreciate you. Okay. Okay, so the last post at the bottom came from 39. 39 says they're not going to do anything important during Ramadan. They never have. Well, 39 R39, we just proved you incorrect. Okay? Kuwait did their currency reinstatement during their religious celebratory period of Ramadan in 91, so your statement is completely incorrect. The way that I work on this forum, we're not here to be rude or disrespectful. We're here to be honest. So again, R39, I'm not disrespecting you. I'm helping you, okay? When people are incorrect, we will take the time to help you get correct. That's what this is about. So again, Kuwait reinstated their currency and did their revaluation during Ramadan. Okay, so Paul's the one that came forward saying that in Abu Dhabi news, I can try to find that for us. Hold on, let me try finding. We have the split screen up. What Steve was trying to share with us is that they may have rescheduled the presidential session of Parliament to next Tuesday. And I'll see if there's anything. Let's see what world news comes up. They don't have anything directly for Iraq that I could see where I could pick. I saw Dubai as a direct going country specific. Okay, right now I don't see anything. I don't even know if I'm on the right what do you call it, the right link here. But anyway, so okay, well, R39, you're saying the circumstances are totally different. Technically, they're not. The reason why I would disagree with what you just said is between Kuwait versus Iraq, they both celebrate. They're both very religious countries and celebrate and observe the period of Ramadan from the exact same angle. So I would disagree with you on that. Nothing's different. It's not period based. Ramadan is simply religious based. Their religious principles and values haven't changed. They haven't changed between the two countries. They're still both very strong in how they do it. Again, all they do is work less hours per day to simply fast and pray. That's all that they do. It's business as usual during Ramadan. So R39, I would strongly disagree with what you just said. After the exchange, do you think it's wise to remove your money from the banks and invest due to the U.S. dollar price potentially crashing? That's Cade Lewis. Yes, again, I'm not a banker. I'm not a financial advisor, but let's talk about that. I'll tell you what I'm going to do and what I would recommend. Now, to answer that, so again, should we put all of our money in the bank afterwards or no? And I would say no, and here's why. I'm personally going to diversify in cryptocurrencies. I am going to open a CDARS, C-D-A-R-S bank with another amazing gentleman. His job, he's a financial advisor, not within standard investments. Again, we're opening up a CDARS bank. I'll explain what a CDARS bank is. He specializes in life insurance policies. One of the major investment options he does is called an IBC. Within an IBC right now, they're averaging strong annual percentages of return. IBCs do not crash when a recession comes about like the stock market does. They're completely separate than the U.S. stock market. They don't crash. During the last two recessions, which would have been the COVID era and the 2007-8 real estate crisis, IBCs held strong in those recessions, okay? Now, also within an IBC, you're a bank in there, so you can write yourself loans off of your money. When you write yourself loans, you don't pay taxes on loans, so it can reduce your tax burden. Now, with the CDARS Bank is a bank that writes loans to other banks and allows you to be FDIC insured. I believe, again, this is my opinion, I think it's up to $50 million because you're allowed to have multiple bank accounts in there with up to $250,000 in each account. Okay, I'm going to do that with a well-diversified gentleman who's very knowledgeable in all this, so that we are going to cater this bank, again, allowing you to be FDIC insured up to many millions of dollars just for you guys, the amazing dinar investors. Again, this is for you guys. Okay, it'll take us some time to get us set up. But so now back to your question, what I'll be diversified in is cryptocurrencies, precious metals. You still have to keep some of your money within the US dollar. The reason why is because your life and livelihood revolve around using the dollar within the United States. So you can't exit the US dollar. But if you had it, like if you were invested in life insurance based investments, those don't crash and tank during a recession. So you get tremendous growth out of it. And this CDARS bank that we're going to open is for you guys. But I would also consider, and we're going to have strategic investments in the bank, and it'll be majority of an online-based bank to help you guys, okay? Hold on here. Oh yeah, okay. Let's go to the bottom question. This is R39 again. What's different is the situation that Iraq is in compared to when Kuwait did their currently change. Okay, I don't know if. Yeah, but okay. So R39 today says he's trying to say that this era today of 2025 is a different situation with Iraq that is compared to when Kuwait did their currency. Other than they're going digital, Ramadan, I would only disagree with that because Ramadan doesn't change. It's again, yes, the eras are different, but Ramadan still remains the same. So I would still disagree with that. In my opinion, short-time treasury bills are safe. Okay, T. Bradley's trying to say T-bonds and so forth. But if the dollar weakens and goes down in value, that could also mean less of a return on T-bills. Food for thought on that. Okay. Friends, you're the best. Thank you for joining. I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. Best to all of you. Let's monitor what happens tomorrow. Let's see if they only do the president. Again, in my opinion, tomorrow I think we're only going to see a president coming forward because the overall news about the prime minister is very suggestive that they are going to need to have more twists, turns, and meetings to decide on what they're going to do about the selection of a prime minister. Friends, you're the best. Have a great weekend and take care, and thank you for joining.